It's not a good look for DJ. Like, I hope somebody does ask him about that play. I've seen both Chris Long and Gronk be very demonstrative in their disgust for watching what took place. Now, if you watch the play, I think it was like the second or third play of the game, too, wasn't it? That Caleb is scrambling wildly, and it looks like he turns his ankle a little bit, but he goes off the field, and not only goes off the field, but he walks over to the bench and sits down on the bench while the play is still going on. So it's not a great look, and there are moments, I told you early in the season, where he looks more than a little bit frustrated. You know, I have defended him. I have made excuses for him. I've given him, maybe the best way to say it is I've given him the benefit of the doubt because I've seen him be their hardest worker in practice the last 2 years. I've seen him be really productive. What I'm seeing right now is not the same guy that I saw early.
Why not?
And last year. I don't know. Remember last year how Justin and Darnell Mooney were never on the same page? Never. And we looked at each other and go, I don't know why this is. But they're just not on the same page. They're good friends. They work out together in the offseason. It's not like that there's friction between them. It just wasn't working. And I remember both of us looking at each other going, when Darnell goes to another team next year, he's going to be just fine. And he has been. What's going on right now between DJ and Caleb in terms of not being able to find common ground, it's really strange. And you can see the frustration. DJ has shown more frustration, I think, than any player on the team. This is kind of new for me because I didn't really see that last year. All I saw was a player that played dominant football and went to practice every day and worked hard and showed up for everything. He looks like a really frustrated player. Caleb misses him on a shallow cross in the red zone that should have been a touchdown. It's the ball that he threw high and hard to Keenan Allen that was incomplete. He misses him on another sail route. He throws a slant when DJ's running a 9 routes in a different play. It's just all off for some reason.
Let me play you the Gronk stuff. And again, there's another video going around of Hunter Henry. Did you see this, Waddle, on Twitter? No. So I think it was in a recent, I don't know if it was last weekend's Patriots game with Drake May, but Hunter Henry steps out of the back of the end zone. And it's a red zone play.
Right.
And so the referee throws his hat. He's ineligible then. To be the guy to touch the ball then next. And he then walks out of bounds and takes himself out of the play. And in the description, it's like, look at Hunter Henry make it known to his quarterback that he is not eligible to be thrown to. This is a great move by him.
Well, did Hunter Henry then walk to the sidelines and sit on the bench while the play was still going on? I think that's kind of what visually has caught everyone's attention.
Okay. So I just wanted to, for fair purpose, because a lot of people are saying, well, look, on one side they're complimenting the player, and on the other side they're ripping him. So just for the balance here.
Sure.
Here's Rob Gronkowski, who, again, of course, played for the Patriots, with Kay Adams, who was talking about this on her show.
There's a lot of weird Bearsy things going on. This was one of them. It's DJ Moore, veteran, perennial, 1,000-yard receiver. As you can see, he, during the play, leaves the field. With your best, what is going on here?
Man.
What is that? What is that?
Wow. I mean, that's just giving up on your team. That's kind of giving up on the program. I mean, it's early in the game as well, so there's a lot that leads to that as well. It's just not something that just triggers it instantly. It's something that kind of builds up, I would say, throughout the years, since last year that he was there, or throughout the weeks, this year since the season started. So I'm not really sure what's going on in that situation. With the teams I've been on, that's really never happened. But if it did happen, we have a quarterback. I had a quarterback that would really keep them accountable.
So that's interesting. And again, the Bears met as a unit. They meet all the time. That's all they do. They meet more than we do.
They do a lot of meetings.
Fight. Yeah. And here's Chris Long. Again, another guy who's been around the block, has won a Super Bowl, has been a team leader for many teams, and he talked about it on his Greenlight podcast.
DJ Moore doesn't want to be there, and he doesn't like the quarterback. Who's going first? And I was pro Fields. I was the one that was like, keep Fields. But if this is what we're doing, and I felt like maybe DJ Moore was pro Fields, like reading between the lines last year, right? Then here's the fucking door, dude. They're having trouble getting him the ball anyways. It feels like Roma Dunze and him are on the best page out of 3 wide receivers. And by the way, this is from Rich Habar. Highest inaccurate target rates for players with 25-plus targets. Adunze's number 6. Keenan Allen's number 8. DJ Moore's number 10. You're not even getting missed the most out of the 3 of y'all. How are you the one walking off the field? Okay? And I think that also says something about, like, Caleb Williams, which is the guy's not Superman yet. But when he's locked in the middle of the field, underneath, that sort of stuff,
Wait,
bro.
All 3 of his receivers are on that list?
On that list.
That's bad.
So it's not good. So all I'm saying is I think you got a guy in Caleb Williams. I like him. I do. But this was going to be a process, and some of the people that just put the cart before the horse with this stuff. So just for me, the one thing that's inexcusable is, like, if one of your veterans who you brought here a couple years ago or last year, whatever, 2 years ago, DJ Moore, doesn't want to be there, then you as a head coach now have to make a decision. You as a GM, Ryan Poles, Ian Yates-Cunningham, my guy, Ian Yates-Cunningham, do you want to be here, bro? Do you? Seriously, it's time for a real conversation.
And that's why I want to hear from DJ. You know what I mean?
Tomorrow, hopefully tomorrow.
Yeah, because like I said, I am prone to give him the benefit of the doubt because of what I've seen from him. Not just the production on the field, but I'm telling you, I'm telling you, you already know this. When you watch him at practice, he's always out there and he's always playing hard. And that's why I'm giving him the benefit of the doubt. But I'm telling you, it's a bad look.
I've never seen him do that in practice.
Never.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
Like, that's why it's weird, and that's the game, and the game is what matters.
And by the way, like I said,
that's not the track record, but that, like, you've got to obviously put the game way more than the practice.
Yes, and look, while you can't be an eligible receiver any longer, as I said yesterday, what if Caleb throws the ball to another player, you can still provide some help by blocking somebody.
Right.
So, like, I would advise all players, even if the official takes his hat off, and I don't know the exact rule, as long as you come back in and establish yourself.
You can't 3 feet. You need to have 3 feet to reestablish yourself as an eligible receiver.
Right.
So it's not impossible.
Right. You can come back in bounds and reestablish yourself. So, I don't know. It was a bad look. It's just, I'm telling you, the frustration is visible. And it's something that is a bit surprising to me. And, like, not only is it surprising, but it's hurting their efficiency because he was arguably their best offensive player.
Right, and they just gave him new money.
Yeah.
So if he is, like, I want to hear the explanation, but if he is getting frustrated and he's letting that get to him, you were just paid.
Yeah,
you can't let that happen.
And I,
Not
again,
you.
Again, I can't explain why there is such little cohesiveness with he and the quarterback. There is no connection there that seems to show up week in and week out. There's been a blip here and there, but there are moments where you're just like, what's going on here?
Two guys playing in different offenses. Yeah. Roger and O'Fallon, line 4. You're on ESPN 1000. What's up, Roger?
Doing good. How are you guys today?
Thank you.
Good, Roger.
Hey, yeah. So I was I answered the poll, and I went with a you ask a black and white question, you get a black and white answer with a no right now. I don't know if by the end of the year, with the amount of hits that Caleb is taking, are we going to make him gun shy? Is he going to be less effective next year, regardless of who you bring in? I think it's completely on Poles for allowing Eberflus to kind of ruin this quarterback and drive. It's possible that sort of the issue with DJ Moore is that he just has no faith in the coach, and he's just kind of done, which is a possibility. So it for me, the trade was amazing, but we failed in the implementation.
It was my concern all along as well, Robert.
Well summed up.
Yeah, that you were going to bring this young quarterback in, a very talented young quarterback. And my concern was guard to guard more even so than tackle to tackle or on the outside, because I know how quarterbacks, especially young ones, are bothered by pressure that comes from in front of them. And I don't think you can ruin this kid. but I do think that you can delay his development. And what you've seen, in my humble opinion, the last few games is you've seen a guy that hasn't functioned inside the pocket in an efficient manner. And that was one of his strengths. And now he's trying to do too much. So you are kind of, you're slowing down the developmental process because you can't protect him.
There were, what, 3 or 4 things that are really high on the list that you must do around your new quarterback. You've got to get him weapons to throw to. You've got to get him a good offensive coordinator. You've got to have the stability with the head coach, and you've got to protect him on the offensive line.
Yeah.
Not in the order, but those are the 4. You rank them, whatever. But he's probably failed in 3 of those.
Well, there's
got the weapons.
Yeah, there's enough weapons out there for sure.
But the line, no. The coordinator, they failed at, and the head coach, certainly they failed at.
Yeah,
so he's got a point.
And the problem is look, you've got to put all of your resources and you've got to do whatever you can to create an infrastructure that is positive for this young quarterback. The entire franchise, not the fate of the franchise, because this thing will be worth $10 billion 10 years from now. Right. But on the field, they're going to function well based on how their quarterback is developed. If he's developed well and he becomes the player we all think that he can be, you're going to be a legit contender. If you don't allow the development of this guy because the infrastructure isn't good enough, then you're not going to be a contender.
All right, so 312-332-3776. Waddle will break down more of what he saw in the film coming up at 4.